Ever wondered how massive samurai armies, marching across feudal Japan, actually stayed fed? We see the epic battles, the gleaming armor, the legendary generals, but we rarely ask the most fundamental question: what was for dinner? This wasn't just a matter of packing a few rice balls. Feeding tens of thousands of soldiers on the move was one of the greatest logistical challenges of the era. And getting it wrong could lose a war before a single sword was drawn. Let's break down the menu. The absolute staple, the fuel for the entire war machine, was rice. Each soldier, or ashigaru, needed about 5 cups of uncooked rice per day. That's over a kilogram. Now, multiply that by an army of, say, 30,000 men. That's 30 tons of rice every single day. And that's just the rice. They also needed salt for preservation and electrolytes, and miso, a fermented soybean paste, to make a simple, life-saving soup. So how did they transport this mountain of food? The answer is the unsung hero of Japanese warfare, the humble logistics corps, or kanadatai. These weren't samurai. They were porters, laborers, and merchants, often using pack horses and oxen to haul immense quantities of supplies. They would form long, vulnerable supply lines stretching for miles behind the main army. These lines were a prime target for enemy raids. A successful attack on the baggage train could starve an army into submission without a major battle. But you couldn't always rely on supply lines. Before a campaign, lords would stockpile massive amounts of food in their castles. They'd requisition rice from their own lands as taxes, sometimes leaving farmers with barely enough to survive. Once on the march, the army had to be self-sufficient for as long as possible. Soldiers carried their own rations, often in a small bag called a koshimono. This typically included dried or roasted rice that could be eaten dry or rehydrated with water or tea. Another common ration was the hoshii, or dried steamed rice, which was lightweight and lasted for a long time. Foraging was also a critical, and often brutal, part of the strategy. Armies would live off the land, which is a polite way of saying they'd take whatever they could find from the local countryside. This practice, known as kariboshi, or grass-mowing samurai, involved seizing crops, livestock, and supplies from villages, while effective for the army. It was devastating for the peasant population caught in the path of war. A passing army could mean famine and ruin for an entire region. Sieges presented a unique challenge. An army laying siege to a castle had to feed itself for weeks, or even months, while trying to starve out the defenders. The defenders, on the other hand, relied on the stores they had painstakingly stockpiled within the castle walls. A well-stocked castle could hold out for an incredibly long time. The famous siege of Odawara Castle in 1590 is a great example. The Hojo clan had prepared so well that the besieging army of Toyotomi Hideyoshi had to build an entire town around the castle and wait out for 3 months. So, the next time you watch a samurai movie and see two massive armies clash, remember the invisible army behind them. The porters, the cooks, the farmers, and the quartermasters. Their battle wasn't with swords and spears, but with numbers, distance, and the constant threat of hunger. The fate of Japan was decided not just on the battlefield, but in the rice paddies and on the dusty supply roads. The hidden cost of conquest was paid in grains of rice. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this look into the hidden side of history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.